Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Amy and this is Thrift Adventure. Today I'll be doing another ship with me video. In these videos I go day to day and I share the whole week worth of what I sell. You want to be sure to watch all the way to the end because I always have interesting and unique items, and hopefully you can learn some new things to keep your eyes out for when you're out thrifting. So today is Monday, July 15th. These are my sales from over the weekend and it sucked. There's no easy way to say that. As I always say, July is typically my worst month. I have been trying to combat that by accepting offers, listing items, but I just haven't been very motivated. So this is what I've got for you today. It's the reality of my reselling business. And I think other people have summer slowdown too. You guys know that I like to be real in these videos. Okay, so the first item that sold is this somewhat vintage Liz Claiborne little denim jumper dress. And as you can see, it has that vintage label. I think that this is from the 90s. I liked that it was Liz Claiborne, that it was denim. I liked the details on the front. I thought that it could be worn kind of modestly, or it could be worn without a top underneath it. So I thought that it would tick a lot of categories. It sold for $40. I think that's a pretty great price. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I think it took maybe 6 months to sell, maybe 4. Not super quick, but also not a super long time. I only paid 50 cents for this at one of our little charity thrift stores. They have a markdown rack for items that have been there for a while, and they mark them down to 50 cents. And so I grabbed this because I thought it was cute. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $31.50. I think that's a great sale, and I'm happy to see that go. I struggle with selling dresses very quickly. I wonder if I overprice them or if I'm not using the right keywords. Let me know in the comments. Do dresses do well for you? What important words in the title do you think that you use? Of course I put vintage, 90s, Liz Claiborne. I think I put mini, denim, jean, all the things. So the next item is just a cashmere kind of geometric print scarf. I picked this up just because it was cashmere. It's not any sort of specific brand, but it does say 100% cashmere, made in Germany. Did I say it was only $1 at an estate sale? That's the other reason I picked it up. It sold for $23 with discounted shipping. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $15.38. That's just fine. I kind of expected this to sell in the $20 to $25 range. And as I've mentioned, I like to try and only pick up items that I think I can profit $25 or more on. But if I've waited in line at an estate sale for a really long time, as I've mentioned, one of my estate sale companies is very competitive, then sometimes I will grab items that are a lower profit just to try and make some money to offset the time I spent. Because like I said, sometimes I'll wait an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours ahead of time, depending on how good the pictures look. And sometimes I am wrong about if the stuff is good or not. So anyways, this was probably one of those instances, or it was just an impulse, who knows. So that is it for the weekend, from Saturday afternoon, Sunday, and Monday morning. I sent out 20% off offers yesterday. I didn't get anything from that. And then this morning I sent out 30% off offers. So hopefully that will tempt someone to buy some stuff. I also reduced some prices in my Chairish shop, and sometimes that will kind of get the algorithm going. I still haven't listed anything on there, so I think I'm going to try and do a listing challenge maybe. I'm not sure if I'm going to do like a one-day thing or if I'm going to do a full week. Let me know in the comments again if that's something that you would like to participate in. I think what I would do to try and get, you know, participation is maybe I'll do like a post on the news feed in YouTube. Maybe I could do it like a day-to-day video. I always talk about doing more videos after last week, just saying that I was worn out, but maybe I could do that and I could go day to day and share like what activities I'm doing, and you could check in the comments. No promises there because I'm trying to not do as much, but anyways, I need to do something to revive my Poshmark closet and my Chairish shop because neither of them are really performing very well. So don't go anywhere. This video will continue with what else I share this week. If you enjoyed this type of video, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2024, and it would really mean a lot to me if you could help me out with that. Also, when you give videos a thumbs up and comment down below, that helps creators out. It can help boost their videos in the YouTube algorithm, which encourages us, and it can also help us financially to offset the time that we put into these videos. Okay, I'll be right back. Hey there, it's Tuesday, the next day, and sending out those 30% off offers really made a huge difference. I have, let's see, 6 or 7 or 8 sales to ship out today just in 24 hours. I'm so happy that my week turned around because that weekend really sucked. So I did have a sale on Chairish, and it is this vintage, oh, let's see, are you guys even be able to see that very well? This vintage mid-century little side table plant stand. I just thought this was really cool. It's kind of a shame you can't see that better. But I picked it up at a yard sale for just $5. It did have some like chipping and patina and rust marks on it. When I get metal stuff like this, I just leave it the way it is because some people like the original kind of patinaed look. And I feel like if someone wants to repaint something, they may have a specific color that they want. And so I just don't. Maybe I could get more for it if I paint it, but maybe not. I have had a number of movie set and TV set designers purchase items from me. And so if they're buying an item that's set in, say, the 60s or 70s, they're going to want an item that looks in its original condition and not repainted. So anyways, this sold for $195 plus an $18 packaging fee, and that fee is in addition to the shipping fee, and the buyer pays both. So my total sales amount was $213. I'm so excited. Like I said, I only paid $5. So after Chairish's fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit $165.10. So it does look like this mid-century metal outdoor furniture is trending right now because I have sold quite a few pieces in the last few months and for really great prices. So keep your eyes out. I see that kind of stuff a lot at estate sales and yard sales, and I hadn't been picking it up. Well, I had picked up a few pieces, but I haven't continually been doing it. So kind of thinking if it's affordable, I should just pick it up. And if you don't want to sell on Chairish, I'm sure that you could sell this type of thing on eBay or Facebook Marketplace and maybe not get quite as high of prices, but if you price it lower, you could flip it quicker. So if it's affordable, I'd say pick it up. It seems like it's pretty trendy right now. Okay, everything else sold on Poshmark. Also, as always, if you're interested in selling on Chairish, I have the Chairish Seller's Guide linked in the description box below, and it tells you everything you could want to know about selling on there. Please be sure to read about the fees because they have a tiered fee structure, and it can be kind of expensive to sell on there. Okay, so the first item that sold is this sterling silver bangle bracelet with cubic zirconias, and I thought this was really pretty. It has a really pretty kind of setting on the edge. This sold for a little bit less than I wanted, but it was part of the 30% off offers I sent out. It sold for $33. I did not do discounted shipping on that 30% off. I paid about $5 for this. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $21.40. This did take a fair bit to sell, maybe 6 or 8 months. So keep that in mind. The little table, I think, took about 6 months to sell. So not too bad, but you know, when I'm getting some of those higher prices on Chairish, usually it takes a little while for things to sell for those prices. Okay, the next sale was a pretty great sale. This is a blue topaz necklace on a real gold chain, set in real gold, and it sold for $165. Let's see, I sent out a 30% off offer on this, and then the buyer counter offered me. I don't remember the exact details of what my offer was and how much of a discount they got. But I think probably somewhere around 40% of my original asking price. I still thought the $165 was a reasonable price for this. I had paid $10 for it at an estate sale. I don't think they realized what the potential value was. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $122. Oh, a couple of, well, one exciting thing. I checked my Posh stats for July, and I have already met or gotten to the same amount that I sold last year in July, and I'm only halfway through July. So this summer of sales or something that I'm doing is working, and I'm thrilled about that. So hopefully I can double my sales from last July. We'll just see, but I'm really excited about that. Okay, so did I say my profit was $122? I'm really excited about that. The next item that sold is this. It's a sterling silver necklace and pendant, but it has little pieces of Black Hills gold on there. You see the little leaves hanging down or little pieces of gold. This sold for $65. Now this buyer, I sent them out a 30% off offer, and then they counter offered me with $65, which was half of what I originally had this priced at. I've been kind of experimenting with pricing Black Hills gold items a little bit higher because I do see some high sold prices or higher sold prices on eBay. Let's see, I don't want that to come out there. But because this was mostly sterling silver, not all real gold, I decided to accept that $65 offer. And I got this at that $890 estate sale, so I only paid $3 for it. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $49. This hasn't been listed very long. I listed it after some of the other pieces, so I think this has only been listed about a month. So I'm happy with that $65. You know, maybe I could have waited a little longer and gotten a little bit more, but again, it's the summer of sales, and I am happy with that. So did I say my profit was $49? I think that is great. Okay. So for some of my jewelry pieces, I use the small flat rate boxes. I've mentioned this over and over again, but I get questions about it a lot. And some of them I use the padded envelopes. More expensive pieces, I'll typically put in the box, or if I don't put them in a little box, like that bracelet I just wrapped in bubble wrap, and then I'll put some tissue paper in there too. If I just wrap it in bubble wrap, then I definitely use the small flat rate box. Okay, the next item is another little piece of jewelry. This is a brooch, and it's like a lucite or a plastic material, but it kind of looks like jade. I just picked it up because I thought it was cute. And I can't remember if I got this in a lot of jewelry or where I got this, but it only sold for $13, which is just fine. I paid about $3 for it. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that only made my profit $7.05. But $7 is $7, and I'm trying to, you know, clear through some stuff. I have tons of brooches, and you know, I'm just happy to move things out. That was Avon brand, so it a lot of the Avon things don't hold their value very well unless they are the Liz Taylor design for Avon. Those can sell for really high amounts. Typically the rest of the Avon stuff doesn't sell for great amounts unless it's really a cool like style piece. Okay, the next item is a Bryn Walker kind of tunic sweater. So I thought I'd show you the label first. And this was a cashmere blend. I can't remember what the other component was, but it's long. It's kind of has a high-low hem. Of course, I used, you know, I put cashmere in the title, and I put Lagan Look. And let's see, looks like I need to lint roll this a little bit more. So I'm gonna finish packaging that up off camera. But it sold for $45. This was a new liker, so they didn't get the 30% off offer. I had it listed for $59 and they offered me $45. So of course I accepted that. I paid about $3 for this at one of our small town charity thrift stores. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $33. That was listed a fair amount of time, probably 4 to 6 months. The next item is, boy, I just lint rolled all these and I'm still seeing things on them. It's just a pair of youth size Adidas track pants, and I picked these up at a fill the bag sale. That's the only reason I picked them up, just to kind of try and reduce my cost of goods, average cost of goods per item. And those of you who have been watching have heard me say that I'm kind of trying to decide what I'm going to do with that in the future. These sold for $13. I paid less than $1 for them. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $9.05. I do still think that I'm going to continue to try and be more selective with my sourcing, just because I have so much to list already. And, you know, a sale is a sale though. So making $10 on this item that was relatively, or $9, that's relatively easy to list, ship, and store is still great, you know, on a $1 investment. So I'm not trying to say to any of you that you shouldn't do that. I'm just, you know, trying to decide based on my storage. Let's see, where did that go? Oh, there it is. If I want to store and wait for items to sell that are only going to profit me $10. Okay, the next item that sold is this cute little Kaboo kind of sling backpack. I also picked this up at a fill the bag sale, and it sold for $18, which is less than I wanted. And I think less than comps maybe, I can't remember. But because my weekend had been so slow, this was actually the first item that sold after the weekend. And this buyer made me that offer, and I just accepted it because I wanted to get some momentum going and sell some stuff. But because I paid because it was a fill the bag sale, I paid less than $1 for it. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $13.40. So that's just fine. You know, it had been listed for a few months at least, maybe 6 months. And I think I potentially had gotten a higher offer before. No, I think someone offered me like $10 for it before or something. Anyways, I am happy to get it out of my pile and my inventory. And, you know, another way to look at those lower dollar sales is that they do add up. And, you know, every little bit counts these days. Looks like I'm almost out of thank you stickers. Okay, I had a medium box for this. I don't know if this is gonna fit. Maybe I'm gonna have to smush it down in there. But really, really great 24 hours. I'm super excited about that. A couple of things. So I had a case opened on a purse that I sold last week. So if you watched last week's video, I sold a Karl Lagerfeld denim purse that was new with tags. And it had on the strap so it was denim woven through. So when it comes back together, you have to stitch the ends back together, or the makers did. And where they were stitched back together, it was kind of frayed. And I put that in the pictures and in the description. The buyer asked me before she bought it if it was damaged. I took a look at it to make sure that it wasn't actually damaged, and that was just the way that it was made, and that's what it looked like to me. It just looks like where they were stitched together, it's denim. That's just what happens. So she made me an offer. It was kind of lower, maybe even half off of what I had it listed, and I accepted. And she opened it a case saying that she thought that it was damaged, and she sent pictures that looked just like the pictures that I posted on the listing. And I had checked to make sure that it wasn't damaged. It was just the way that it was constructed. So in response to her case, I just said, hello, the fraying was shown in the pictures and discussed in the description. I shipped the item as it was shown and described. Thank you. That's all I said. I didn't argue with her or anything like that. I just said, I told you. What else could I do to tell you that there was fraying on the thing? It was all there in the listing. And surprisingly, I got that notification at 10 or 11 o'clock at night last night, and I put my response in. And then before I checked my phone this morning, Posh had declined her case and released my funds, which I was actually kind of surprised about. Not that I thought that I was wrong, but I just hear a lot of times that Posh approves cases even that aren't valid. That really hasn't overall been my experience. I've had 2 or 3 that were approved that I didn't think should be approved. And I've only really had a handful of cases out of, I think I'm over 4,000 sales now, and I've had maybe 20 or 25 cases opened. So that is a very, very tiny amount, less than 1% of my sales. So, if you accurately describe and photo your items, you should be in a good spot. That's not to say that sometimes people don't make stuff up or there aren't scammers out there, but they really are few and far between. The majority of people are nice and honest in this business. And I just like to talk about that because a lot of people have fear about reselling and reselling on certain sites. And actually that's one of my fears on eBay. And when you talk to eBay sellers that's their main platform, they also say that returns are few and far between typically, depending on what you know, kind of what type of items you sell. Another thing that I want to talk about that I found was kind of interesting. So I was talking to someone who knows someone who is working in, what do they call it? Production. So one of the people who goes through the hard goods and sorts them and prices them to be put out on the floor. The production people have a dollar amount goal of items that they have to price and tag and get put out on the floor every day. And it sounds like it is a pretty lofty goal. I'm sure that this varies from location to locations. They may have different goals. And I thought this was important to talk about was it can help us understand potentially why the prices at Goodwill could be higher than they used to be. So if those goals are higher for the production people than they used to be, those people may be more motivated to price an item higher so that they can meet their goal. And I never really thought about it like that. I guess I just assumed it was a number of items that they had to process, or I didn't even know that they had a goal for the amount of things to go through every day. I just had no idea. Maybe a lot of you guys did know that. Also, it seems like that's why there could be a lot of turnover at the Goodwill, because it is really hard work. Sorry to talk about that so long, but I just thought it was really interesting. Don't go anywhere. It's only Tuesday. This video will continue with what else I sell this week. See you in a minute. Hey again, it's the next day, Wednesday, and I had a sale. The buyer asked me after they bought it if I could ship it today, and I did have time, so I decided to ship it, and I have 2 other sales. So it's turning out to be a really great week. So this is the item that the buyer asked me to ship quickly. It is a genuine crocodile belt, and it is by Peter Millar. I got this at Marshall's, and as you can see, it has a $300 retail price, but it is size small. It is marked genuine crocodile on there, and I wasn't really, at the time, I wasn't really looking to do any sort of retail arbitrage, but I had bought something at Marshall's and then I missed the return window, and so they gave me store credit. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll just kind of look around and see if there's anything that I want to buy for myself or for resale. And this was on the clearance section, and it was marked down to $30, which you know, is a lot to pay up for a belt, but because it had that $300 retail price and it was new with tags, and I saw some decent comps, I decided to pick it up. It did take a while to sell. I think maybe 6-ish months. I had it priced at, I can't remember, 129, maybe 149. But this buyer offered me 75, and I just decided to accept because, like I said, I paid 30, and after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit 30. So he seemed excited about it, and he wants it for vacation that he's going on next week. So that's why he asked me to ship it quickly. The next item, I'm really excited to have it sell because it has been listed a while. And it is this vintage sweatshirt pullover, and it says Breckenridge, Colorado on it. I picked this up because I thought it was cool, you know, 80s, maybe early 90s. And I saw a good comp for it at the time. But this has been listed over a year, I believe. It did end up selling for $69 though. So I am really happy that, you know, even though it took a long time to sell, that it ended up selling for a good price. And this was either, I can't remember what I have this listed at. This was either an outright purchase or the buyer got my 10% off with discounted shipping. and purchased it because they didn't make an offer. It just showed up that my item had sold. I paid about $6 for this. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $49.20. I am thrilled with that. Let's see, that does not want to go in that box quite yet. Okay, the next item I'm also excited to see go because they are pretty bulky, and they're a pair of these Red Wing men's boots. As you can see, they are quite scuffed up and worn, but Red Wing boots are really expensive retail. These have also been listed. Trying to think, I think I got them at the end, towards the end of winter this year. So maybe, you know, 4 to 6 months. And I think I had them priced quite a bit higher to begin with, but I had reduced the price, and then this buyer offered me the $50. So I decided to go ahead and accept it because I had paid just $5 for these. They had all their boots marked down at the end of the season. I might add some other wrapping or something to this. And I might have to upgrade this label because they're pretty heavy. I think they might be steel toe. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $35. I'm very happy with that. I am just feeling so great about accepting offers. I've never really been like this before, and there have been very few, if any, offers that I have accepted where I have thought I wish I wouldn't have accepted that offer. Maybe like the day after I think that on a few things, but after I ship them out and they're gone, most things I just don't think about anymore. So if I'm making a decent profit, I think that I am going to really adopt this mentality to turn and burn things, to reduce the amount of inventory that I have, but also if I'm selling things quicker, then I can go thrift shopping more, which is what I always want to do. And my sales have been up. So it is good all around, and I kind of wish I would have adopted this mentality sooner. Again, I will say I'm not accepting every single offer. I did have, I think, 2 or 3 other offers come through this week that I did not accept, that I counter offered, and they did not result in sales, but they were either special items or items that I just wasn't ready to, you know, take a lower offer, or they were just ridiculously lowball offers, like $10 on a $50 item. You know, I'm not going to accept that if my profit's going to be $5 and it's worth, you know, $40. Anyways, I'm feeling really great about this. Let me know in the comments down below if you've been doing something similar and how you are feeling about it. And, you know, if you don't have access to very much inventory and you want to hold out for the best prices, that is totally okay. I've done that before too, and I like getting high prices for things. Okay, don't go anywhere. This video will continue with what else I sell. Hi again, it's Friday and my sales have slowed down quite a bit. I only have 2 things to ship out today, but that's okay. I sent out 20% off offers on everything in my closet. Well, actually that's happening right now with Posher VA. And then tomorrow, after these 20% off offers expire, I'm going to send out 30% off offers to see if I can generate some other sales. I have not been listing. I think I've listed maybe 5 things this whole week on Poshmark, which is really terrible. I need to get my act in gear. I have not listed on Chairish. Last week I said I was going to try and do at least 1 item a day. I don't know what's going on. I think it's summer. I just am not into it, but hopefully I can get back on track. Hopefully you guys are being more productive than I am. Okay, so the first item that sold is a little teeny tiny charm. It is a Washington charm, and curious enough, this sold to someone in Arkansas. But whatever, maybe they needed this state to complete their charm bracelet, or it's a gift for someone. This has been listed a really long time, probably close to 2 years. It sold for $12. I paid $1 for it. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $8.05. Definitely not a home run on this, but as I have mentioned before, for charms, I'm okay with a lower profit on those because they are really easy to list. And I've said this before, but typically I will bulk list them. So I will wait until I have at least 10, and then I'll take all the pictures, and then I'll just copy and paste the description and change the charm that is there. And it makes, you know, you can really move through some listings quickly, so you're not putting as much time in, so it's okay if the profit isn't quite as high. Okay, the next item that sold is this vintage pair of 70s or 80s kind of slouchy boots. I thought these were really cute. These also took a really long time to sell. To be honest, I can't remember how long these have been listed, but I'm sure over a year. They ended up selling for $35. The only reason I got these, I don't typically pick up this type of boot anymore because it doesn't sell very quickly for me, but these were at a fill the bag sale. So I paid less than $1 for them. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $24.98. You know, if you can get something like this for cheap, I think this might be something that would have done better on like Etsy, maybe. Some of, you know, these vintage shoes and things might sell better over there. If you are a vintage seller, let me know if you do well with boots like this, or if they are just, you know, don't pick up. Oh, one thing that I don't know if I've mentioned before, but whenever you buy vintage shoes or really used shoes in general, you should really check for dry rot, because if a shoe is stored in varying temperatures, it can cause dry rot, which means that the sole will disintegrate basically. And you can't really tell that from looking at it that there's dry rot until somebody puts it on and wears it around and then it falls apart. Or what you want to do is when you're checking for something like this, you want to bend and twist, you know, and give it, you know, you don't want to wreck it, but give it a good go, because if there's dry rot and you do that, it will start to fall apart. So that's just something you want to check with vintage shoes like this. It doesn't happen too terribly often to me. I think I've only had it happen twice, and this was before I knew to check. That can happen. And one time it was on a pair of like 1970s or 1980s boots. And then the other time it was on a pair of Fry sneakers, actually, and they weren't really that old. So it just, you know, if somebody has their shoes in a storage unit or something like that, and it gets really hot in there and then really cold, I think that's what it is. Again, let me know in the comments below if it's different than that, but I'm pretty sure it's temperature change that can cause that. Did I say my profit was $24.98? So last week's video just came out last night, and Shelly, you mentioned that you would like a update on the $890 estate sale haul, and I plan on doing that. It will still be in this video, but tomorrow I'll do an update, and I'm going to look and see how long ago. I'm going to do as many stats as possible. So how long ago that sale was, I can't even remember how many months or weeks that was. I'll do like my average sale price, my average cost of goods, how many items I have sold, and the total dollar amount I've sold and my total profit. I can only imagine that I have more than tripled, maybe quadrupled my money by now, and I still haven't even listed all the jewelry that I got from that. So that sale just keeps on giving. I cannot even believe it. But you know, it is trickling down, but I am thrilled with the results of that. Okay, anything else? Oh, I went to an estate sale yesterday, and I got some some items that surprised me with their value. Some costume jewelry with designer maker's marks. I got a sterling silver bowl that was worth considerably more than I expected it to be. What else? An old Bulova watch that looks to be a 1940s military watch. I'm not certain on that, but if it is, it could be worth $100, $200. So it turned out to be a really good sale. I did get there 3 hours early to wait in line. So I guess it was worth it. When I was there, I wasn't sure. I thought, oh, it's okay. But then when I got back and started checking comps, super exciting. So if we have time, maybe I'll share some of those things at the end of this video. Okay, don't go anywhere. This video will continue with what else I sell. Hi again, it's Saturday, and I just have one more thing to ship out, but it's a pretty good sale. I did update my totals for that $890 estate sale haul, so I will update you on that after I share what I sold. And then these longer videos, 50 minutes and over, seem to be getting more views than the shorter videos. So I think I'll also do a little haul from that estate sale that I went to yesterday, just to make it a little bit longer. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Okay, so what sold is a pair of these vintage Doc Marten boots, and they are called Doc Marten Clappers. And you see they have this white trim, really cool boots. I picked these up at a little charity thrift warehouse for just $5, and they sold for $135. I grabbed them just because, you know, they were Doc Martens, and Doc Martens have been more trendy again lately. This is one of the things that is funny to me. You know, I guess our parents said it too, but it's funny how these trends come back around, because I had low top Doc Martens when I was in junior high and high school, and seeing these styles come back in that were from high school. Let's see, I did look those over and write them down. I was just making sure. It's just so funny to me, and the styles are so interesting right now, or trends, because they're saying that they're seeing a lot quicker cycles of trends than they used to. And so it's not taking as long for certain trends to come back in style. And it's kind of anything goes. That is another reason that I like selling vintage. Let's see. So my profit on these was $103. I think that is wonderful. They did take a while to sell, probably almost a year, because I think I picked them up last summer. I wanted to, on the note of vintage, I wanted to mention that last week, you know, I talked about thinking that it would be important to pick up more unique items and possibly less of, you know, certain popular brands. And I mentioned Free People. I want to say that if you are successful selling Free People, or you have access to affordably priced Free People things in your area and you sell it well, sell it. I've mentioned this before, that what you have available for sale in your online shop, if you have more of a certain type of item, you may be more successful selling that type of item than I am. So if I don't have very much, you know, like newer clothing or mall brands or higher end clothing, I may be less successful at selling those types of things than other people, or I may not be able to get as high of prices. I don't understand exactly why it works that way, but it does. So again, you should always do what's best for your business, and I'm just sharing you my experience in what has worked well for my business. Okay, so you guys are not going to believe this, how well this, well, you are, because you've seen what I sold. Okay, so the sale was February 16th, 2024. I bought a total of 213 items for $890. Now, I did discover that some pieces of the jewelry were damaged or not sellable. I'm not sure how many, but that may take off 10 items from that total. So as of today, June 20th, I have sold $4,008 worth of items. That is before fees. That is the sale price. I am just blown away. And I have sold a total of 61 of those 213 items. So there is still more than half of the items left. It is primarily jewelry. So I purchased 17 bags, handbags, and I have sold 12 out of those 17. So I have 5 bags left. I purchased 12 pairs of shoes and I sold 9 pairs. So I have 3 pairs of shoes left. And I have sold 40 pieces of jewelry. And I have that I purchased 184 pieces of jewelry. So I still have somewhere between 130 and 140 pieces left to sell. That is insane. Okay, so I've sold a total of $4,008, a total of 61 items to sell that amount. I didn't go line by line. I just took 20% off of that $4,008 for the Posh fee. Now, there very well could have been a number of shipping discounts taken off that as well. But I just couldn't go line by line for time purposes. So that would subtract $801 in fees. And my cost of goods for the 61 items that I sold was $183 because I paid $15 per purse, $5 per pair of shoes, and $3 per piece of jewelry. So my profit so far is $3,024. So that is in approximately 4 months, I profited over $3,000 from that sale. I am just so excited, and hopefully I'll remember to, if the sales keep rolling in and you guys want an update, always let me know in the comments down below. But I'm just really blown away at how well I did with that sale. Oh, I forgot to tell you what my total sales for this week were. So my total sales were $1,004. My total cost of goods was $80.50. And my total profit was $717.11. I forgot to do the total number of items that I had sold and what my average sales price was. So I might actually pause the video and do that. So just 1 second. Okay, so I sold a total of 16 items this week, which really doesn't seem like very many, but that made my average sales price per item $62.75. That is awesome, awesome. My average cost of goods was $5.03 per item, and my average profit was $44.82 per item. Now, this is gonna vary very significantly for me from week to week, depending on if I sell furniture or home decor that is a higher dollar item. I don't think that matters though, I'm still, if it's still at making my average sale price that amount, then I'm just going to look at it like that and celebrate that. Okay, so I hit up an estate sale day before yesterday, and I didn't know how good it was going to be, but it ended up being pretty good. So I got a set of 4 of these fun vintage glasses. As you can see on the inside, they have different movie characters inside. So John Barrymore, Clara Bow, Charlie Chaplin, Laurel and Hardy, Mary Pickford. They're all different, which is really cool. And it was just $3 for the set of 4. So that is pretty exciting. I'll hope to get, I don't know, maybe $69 or $89 for those on Chairish. Maybe that's wishful thinking. We shall see. Okay, I also got this pair of bookends, and I just really liked this shell motif. They do have this maybe name brand on the bottom, or is that a number? I don't know, but I just thought they were cool, and they were $5. I'll hope to also get in the $69 to $89 range for those, which is a really great return on my investment. Sorry about all the back and forth here. Okay, I picked up this umbrella, which I probably shouldn't have, but I just couldn't resist. It was just $3. I love vintage umbrellas, and this has a Chanel logo on it. I am relatively certain that it is just a knockoff, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, it is, because it does not say Chanel on that interior tag. But, you know, I'm not up for buying new knockoffs, but if I pick something up at an estate sale that's fun like this, I don't think there's any harm in that. And I really liked this wood look handle. So that I will probably just keep, or I will keep for myself, because you can't sell knockoffs. So this, I think, is a pretty good find. It is a vintage Carhartt snapback, and I believe that this is, oh, I was gonna say wool, but it's not. Acrylic and polyester. It's definitely vintage though. You see the tag says made in USA. This was only $1. So I saw comps in the $75 range for this. But as I've mentioned, Carhartt hasn't been doing quite as well, but I think that's probably a rare piece. So I'll hope to get $50 to $75 for it. Here is the sterling silver bowl that I bought, and it was, I already took the tag off it. It was only $5. It is clearly marked sterling. I will probably sell this for the silver value, not necessarily as a bowl, but depending on the current silver prices, this is worth somewhere between, like, well, what I would get paid for it would be somewhere between $150 and $200 if I just, you know, send it off to the my person who purchases gold and silver from me. So that is a really great buy. I will look up the brand name first. It's Gorham, and see if potentially this pattern has more value than that. But I was super, super excited about that. Okay, I'll try and go quickly. This is a vintage Hobie brooch. It is, turns out it's broken, missing the pin here, but I think I'll still sell it because someone could repair that somewhat easily. That was $3. And I don't know for a broken piece what this will go for, but maybe in the 25 range, because I think I looked these up and they were, you know, in the $80 to $100 range in good condition. This was a fun little find. This is a little fur clip, but it is marked Joseph of Hollywood, which used to be a really collectible and uncommon designer. I didn't look up comps for this, but I'll hope to get about $50 for it, and they only charged me $1 for this. There were some pretty good designer pieces of costume jewelry at this sale. I thought this was kind of an interesting item. Normally I wouldn't have picked it up, but it was also marked, it is Vendome or Vendome. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. This brand can also have good comps. They charged me $6 for this. I'm not positive on this, but I'll hope to get at least $60 for that. It could be more once I do more research. These were not marked, but I just thought they were really pretty and fancy looking, so I picked them up. They are a pair of rhinestone clip-on earrings, just really unique, you know? And I think these are true 50s. These were $4. So the prices were really pretty good overall. This is the vintage Bulova watch. And I saw some of these that said they were from the 1940s, but this is pending more research. It is overwound, so it's not running. I paid $5 for it. I don't know for sure, but I'll hope to get at least 50. Some of those Bulova watches were going for big money, so it might be an auction, an eBay auction item, just because I don't know the value. This is also something else I wouldn't have normally picked up, but it is Crown Trifari, and it is this peachy plastic. They call some of these moon glow when they have this kind of glow to them. So I thought that was pretty cool. This was $8, a little bit more, but Trifari, some of the pieces go for a lot higher amounts. Again, I'll have to do more research on that, but I'll hope to get at least 50 for it. This was a really pretty piece. It is unmarked, but I believe that it is Juliana, and most of the pieces from that brand were unmarked. And there's some kind of signature details with this open work on the back that leads me to believe that this is by her. This was also $8. And again, I'm not sure. I'll hope to get at least 40 for that, but pending research, it might be more valuable. This was interesting. This was also $8. I'm not sure if I should have picked this up or not. It looks like glass, like hand-blown glass pieces, but it's actually plastic or celluloid, lucite. I'm not sure on that, but I also like the clasp. And it was just a very unique piece. That's the reason I picked it up. So again, I'll minimum hope to get 30 or 40 for that. I picked up 2 of these little knee hugger elves. These are vintage, I think from the 50s or 60s. And these guys can have pretty good value. I saw a lot of comps in the $40 to $50 range, and she charged me 50 cents a piece for these. So between the 2 of them, you know, I'll hope to get $50 or $60. I picked up this Charter Club tablecloth just because she ended up charging me $5, which I thought was a little bit more than they normally do, but it's brand new, and you know, it's always good to have these for holidays, and I think mine has a stain on it. So for $5, that is great. I also got this interesting box, and I think it's cloisonne, maybe just enamel painting, but I thought it was a really unique piece. I did pay $8 for that. So, you know, I'll hope it's marked China. I'll hope to get at least $50 for that. And then I really liked this guy. I'm not sure if he is, yeah, I think he might be some sort of cast iron or something. I wasn't sure if he was in fact bronze or not. Quite heavy piece, nicely, you know, kind of artist looking. And I'm not sure, what is this? A boxer, a Great Dane? But she only charged me $1 for this too. And this could be good. You know, this could be $80, $150. I'll have to look at it closer. It does look like there's might be some sort of mold mark, not, sorry, like to cast it mold mark on there, but I thought that was pretty cool. So I think I spent a total of $70 on everything, and there's hundreds worth of profit from this if I get it listed. I have been buying and not listing. You know, I've mentioned that I'm feeling a little guilty about the items that I've been buying and not listing, but I did realize that I do need to continue to buy inventory for my business to offset, well, to make more money and to offset the earnings that I'm having, because if I have a bunch of income and I don't have any or very many expenses to offset that, I will have a hefty tax bill. And, you know, even if I don't get to listing these items right away, I do the cash method of accounting. So I write off the items that I purchase for inventory in the year that I purchase them, not in the year that I sell them. I've mentioned this before. I am not a tax accountant, and some accountants don't agree with the cash method. It's kind of a gray area. Some accountants don't have any trouble doing it that way. So I really recommend that you talk to a CPA in your area, in your state, to see what's best for you, and don't take my word for it, because I'm just a gal, you know. I'm not an expert. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a lot of this, a little bit of that mix. But like I said, it seems like these long videos, that YouTube is liking them and pushing them out to more viewers. My last week video was over an hour, and it is 2 out of 10 for views, for performance. So it is performing better than most of my other videos from the last 28 days, or over the last 10 videos that I've uploaded. So that is good. I'm going to stick with what is working. Thank you all again so much for your continued support. I wouldn't be here without you, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you. I will see you guys all again next week.